Hello everybody, Ben here, and welcome back to another video. Today's video, it's something a little bit different from what I usually do, because I'm starting something a bit different, because I'm not unboxing a British train here, it's an American one instead. So, I've decided to start some sort of American trains, because I've got to liking them a bit more. So the one I've got here is a Southern Pacific EMD A unit. By Bachman. It was £20 in the Hatton's pre-owned sale when I bought it, and I think it's quite nice. It's a very funny one because to get it to work it needs to go up to 80%, and that's a lot. Usually most models start at around 30 to 20%, but once it gets going it's kind of hard to stop it. And it's got twin flywheels. It's quite good quality, and it did say it was a noisy runner. It's a noisy runner. I haven't taken it apart or anything yet when I'm recording this, but it works, which is the main thing, and that makes it my cheapest loco that works as a motor. So now the windows were a bit sort of low. I tried to fix that by pushing it down a bit more, but it doesn't look too bad. But as you can tell, on the bottom of on the top of the roof of the sort of little clear plastic insert, there's a bit of glue, so I might try and sand that down. It was loose when I bought it, but I don't think that's too bad. Now for the wagons, the first one I've got here is a Union Pacific short hopper, and I'm just cleaning off all the various dirt here. And this, I think I might put a coal load in this, but I'm going to leave it empty at the moment. This one here is a Kansas, Oklahoma and Gulf Railroad insulated boxcar, and that had a broken step. Here is I believe a Southern Railway coal gondola, or just gondola, and I'm cleaning this one here as well. And finally here is a Southern Pacific brake van. Now I managed to break the steps when taking off the chassis, but as I'm going to repaint it at some point, that doesn't really matter. There's a bit of flashing around the sort of steps of the Union Pacific hopper, so I sort of cut them off and sanded them down, and I put the bogies back on, and I also made a better coal load for the Southern Pacific coal gondola with some coal I had. I took off the bogies and started weathering the Union Pacific one. I put quite a bit of rust on this one, rather than usually just the black coal dust I do, to make it look a bit different. And then I put the coal dust on, obviously, because if I want it to be a coal hopper, it's not going to be nice and clean, is it? So I'm quite pleased with the weathering I've done on these. Next one here is the just the Southern gondola. I made this one look rusty rather than dirty with coal, so it's a bit different. And then I started cleaning them as well, and obviously I haven't shown you all of them because it's just pretty much the same thing, but I clean them so obviously it leaves all the dust and dirt in the nooks and crannies, but then leaves some of it looking clean. Obviously if you don't want to do that, it makes it look a bit more dirty, but I quite like this effect and I think it looks quite good. And I just clean it with a cotton bud. It's my usual sort of process. And also here I managed to snap one of the bogies on the coal hopper. Start doing some switching, which is the American term for shunting. Obviously I haven't got a lot of wagons. I've got one siding, a runaround loop and a bay platform really. And here you can see my Santa Fe liveried Plymouth shunter that I sort of cleaned out and weathered a few months ago, I think it was. So I'm going to do some switching with my EMD F unit and the Plymouth shunter. What I'm going to do is repaint these ones into my own railroad's colours, because I like making histories for railways. I don't know why I like it, because I used to find American trains ugly. They look a bit weird compared to the British ones, but now I don't. I quite like them now. So I don't know if I'll buy too much new stuff, though the Kato stuff looks quite good. I can get an SD, I think it's a 40-2 for about £84. Brand new, which doesn't sound too bad. But I'm not sure. I don't think I'll get too much because I don't have a layout for it. What I might do in a future layout is include some sidings, so I can do some switching with these. I don't know how accurate that'll look, obviously, in a British setting, but I think it would work. But here you can see the shunting, switching, as the sort of train is sorted out. I'm not particularly good at this, as you'll see, but I enjoyed doing it. It's quite fun, and obviously with more wagons, I'll have sort of more variety and hopefully with more sidings. It's a bit more complicated and a bit more, I guess, fun because it's not just shunting them into one siding. Obviously, all these, what I've got here is pre-owned. Probably, I mean, like I said, maybe some Kato locos. But it's definitely different to my British ones. And I do quite like it. It's definitely a lot different. And I enjoy it. I think with the sort of pre-owned stuff, I have to be careful. Make sure I don't buy something really rubbish. But the only thing that's damaged is obviously I damaged the bogie on the coal hopper, but it still works, surprisingly, if you just leave the bogie underneath. I guess the weight of it keeps it on the track, but it's a bit annoying if you derail it, as you see, like I've done here. Now I have to take it apart and get the bogie back underneath, but it still technically works. And the Kansas, Oklahoma and Gulf insulated boxcar, that has a broken step on one of it. I haven't bothered to fix that because there's not much I can do on that, but I'm pretty pleased with it, and I might do some more in the sort of videos like this where I get some more wagons, maybe even locos, I don't know, and sort of clean them and weather them, maybe repaint them. And I'm probably going to do a video at some point where I repaint the Southern Pacific bay window caboose and the F unit, and eventually I'll make my own history for a railroad. But for now, just enjoy me struggling at switching with the Plymouth shunter and the wagons that I've weathered and cleaned up in this video. for watching this video by me. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below with some video ideas or feedback. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.